What is up guys, Zach here from the Chaos Galaxy, and today I'm going to be doing the set 4 planet profile, really steaming along with these for the planet Barrow, as you can probably tell. The desert planet, the first planet in the galaxy to form life, and it is the rock slash technology planet in the galaxy. Before I jump into this, I want to ask you guys to subscribe if you want to support the game, and to get your hands on some Chaos Galaxy packs. There'll be a link to the online store in the description below. Set 4 will not be out until the end of 2020 probably, but lots of great cards in set 1, 2 and 3, and the starter decks, which I'll quickly go through now. We'll do the recap for the planet Barrow. So Barrow is the defensive planet in the galaxy. A lot of the creatures have high health and lower power, and then you kind of wall out your opponent for a long time in the game, and then once they've exhausted all their resources, you turn the tables and just win. So planet Barrow says once per turn you can swap round the power and health of one of your zoned Barrow creatures until the end of the turn. Again, just going for that flipping the game after you've been walling out for a while. But for set 1 we have the cover card and the really rare Humongous Ancient Rockman to start the recap. Bob2699, Kronk, Desert Dancer, Aditrox, really good card, another really good card for Barrow, and the Island Beast Combiner. We then have Desert Quake as the support card for set 1. Moving on for set 2 we have Grownite, another really strong Barrow creature, Cataplonk, Elite Kronk, Diamond, and then Dramaticus is the limited edition designed by British Gamer. We then have Mountain Stronghold to get you some points, and that's all the support for set 2. I think the set 1 support's probably stronger than the set 2 support, and maybe even the starter deck support, which contains the Boulder Dragon Archetype, and the Egg, the Strange Violet Boulder. We then have Humboldt, Boople Brick, Notum of Sand, Violet Stone Valley, and Go Berserk for more Boulder Dragon support, and Humongous Creation. Then for the set 3 support, we've got Ung, Ozo Block from the Ozo Archetype, Boominator, he plays a big part in the lore, Trom, Combine Harvester, Red-Beaked Squab, and then the Zlock Beast to get power and health from your zones, and then Research Outpost is the support card, which gives your Barrow creatures a lot of power. Which brings us on to set 4. Some really interesting stuff here, including a new archetype, but I'll get to that when I get to it. The first card I have, which is just generic Barrow support, is Quicksand Amanda. Sorry, these cards didn't print out as vibrantly as I'd have liked, so I'll do my best to make them look great. But this artwork was done by the very talented Gavora, the second artist for the game, and it's a 4-star with 140 power and health, which reads, only once you can reveal one of your handed or killed 7-star or lower Barrow creatures. That little minus by the 7 means 7 or less. That creature becomes a 4-star creature until the end of your turn. So it's just a really good thing to do if you've got 4 stars left and you want to play a big creature like Humongous Ancient Rockman. Just reduce it with Quicksand Amanda's ability, and you've got a 7-star creature for the price of 4 stars. Really good combo. But there's some combos later on in the video that I'll show you as well that can work really well with Quicksand Amanda. So I think he's a fun card, definitely not overpowered, but a good card for Barrow. Next up we have Bro Kogo. I realised Barrow doesn't have a 2-star creature with no ability, so he's got 40 power and 160 health. And he doesn't have an ability, however, if his stats are flipped with the planet Barrow's ability, he goes to 160 power, which is 2 points for an attack from a 2-star creature, which is really strong. If you get 2 of these out, you're getting 4 points for the price of 4 stars, which is amazing. So Bro Kogo might be used in Barrow cards, but I think he's just necessary for the game. And he's pretty cute. The lore behind him is his kind of helmet there is made from an ancient cog from one of the very, very first settlements created by Humongous Ancient Rockman early on in the galaxy. I'm going to move these out of the way because we have the archetype, the Kebonk Archetype. They're kind of a weird archetype. It's called the Kebonk Archetype. I'll go through the cards. So, first of all, I love the artwork here. I'll show you the first 2 guys here. So basically, these are giant stone heads. The lore behind them is that when the war for Syndius, the war that divided the galaxy, finished, every planet put these statues together on the planet Barrow as a symbol of peace across the galaxy. So first up we have Kabuton Kobank, who's a Barrow creature with 240 power and 140 health with 4 stars, and he's a common, and his ability reads, whilst this creature has a card attached to it, it also becomes a Shios creature. So this is a statue that was placed on Barrow by the planet Shios. Again, I love the artwork. You can see it's Shios because of the red beam. But this archetype is all about your creatures coming from more than one planet, which sounds kind of strange, but trust me, it works. So this is the first card, Kabuton Kobank. We then have Sutan Kabunk with 150 power, 230 health, and he reads, whilst he has a card attached to him, he also becomes a Pelisium creature. So kind of basic abilities and stats there. Nothing too epic at the moment. But we then have Matuton Kebonk, who's a 5-star with 220 power, 270 health. He was put up by the planet Gaios, because whilst he has a card attached to him, he also becomes a Gaios creature. Also, my friend pointed out he looks like Thanos, which I'm not going to be able to unsee now, but I really love the artwork for this guy. His ability also reads, if this creature is killed by your opponent whilst it comes from 3 or more different planets, kill one of your opponent's zoned cards. So, he's a Barrow creature, then if he's attached to something, he becomes a Gaios creature. If he also comes from another planet, you get to kill your opponent's cards. And these are the 3 main Kebonk heads. And you may have noticed that in their ability, they all need to be attached to things. So I'm going to show you the attachment cards for the Kebonks so far. We have Kebonk Battle Body. So you can see here, like, the beams of light, the like Kebonk heads line up with the bodies, which again come from different planets in the lore. And they kind of have cool things happen when they join together. So Kebonk Battle Body reads, the attached creature also becomes a Sindel creature. And that creature gains 20 power and health for every different planet it comes from. So this is a generic card. It can literally be used with anything. Like, you probably wouldn't want to use it on something that's already a Sindel creature. But if you attach it to a Kabuton Kobank, for example, it's already a Barrow creature. It then becomes a Sindel creature. And because it's attached to another card, it also becomes a Shios creature through its own ability. And it gets a nice little stat boost from your Kebonk Battle Body. I feel like I'm making this sound way more complicated than it is. Like, these cards didn't feel complicated when I was making them. But we then have Kebonk Silence Body. He doesn't really... That doesn't quite line up with the energy beams on these. They're all face... It works with him. Yeah, anyway. Kebonk Silence Body. The attached creature also becomes a Syndian creature. It also then becomes unaffected by creature abilities by creatures from the same planet as it. So if you attach this to a Sutan Kabunk, you're then going to have a Sutan Kabunk that's unaffected by the abilities of Barrow, Pelisium, and Syndian creatures, which is almost like half the creatures in the game pretty much. So if you kind of build up your attachment cards on these guys, they're going to become pretty strong. And there's some generic attachment cards that go with the deck, but I am now going to get to the big boss creature. He's one of the really rares in set 4, sorry, and he is a no-planet creature. Again, a very confused archetype, I feel like the Kebonks are, but it is Kaboltimate. I love the artwork on him. I think he looks like a really good boss. He's got the different energy beams of all the colours there, and then he's just got like the black energy leading to his head, the ultimate no-planet energy. He's got 380 power, 340 health, so all-round pretty strong. He's an 8-star, and his ability reads, you can free play this killed card by killing one of your zoned creatures that has 4 or more home planets. And then when you do, you can add one killed Kebonk attachment card to your hand. So if you've got a... I'll just use Kabuton because he's my favourite artwork. If you have a Kabuton Kebonk attached to these 2 cards, then he comes from 4 planets. You can sacrifice them to play your Kaboltimate, and then you can bring back like a Kebonk Battle Body or something back to your hand, and like continue a play next turn, and yeah, just do some shenanigans in general. And the scary thing about this guy is that he's a boss creature that can keep coming back. You can free play this kill creature, like you can keep doing combos. You could eventually maybe get to the point where you can bring it out every turn if you keep sacrificing your weaker Kebonk cards. But I think this is a really good card I'm going to put to the side because there's still one more card to show you for the Kebonks. We have Kebonk Contact Ground. So this is the site on the planet Barrow where all the Kebonk statues were left by the other planets. And it reads, all Kebonk creatures also become Roka creatures. When a Kebonk creature that has 3 or more home planets is killed by an opponent's attack, you draw a card. So now if you have these 2 guys attached, that Kebonk creature will come from 3 different planets. You then play a Contact Ground. It comes from 4 home planets. which means something like a Kebonk Battle Body will be giving it an extra 80 power and health. So that'll make like a Matuton Kebonk really strong. You can then sacrifice it to bring back a Kabuton, and just go from there. Kebonk Contact Ground. I think the drawing ability won't be used so much because it's quite specific. It needs to be killed by opponent's attacks. Also, I feel like you're going to be sacrificing your Kebonks to actually bring out your Kabultimates a lot of the time. But Kebonk Contact Ground, I think, will be a necessary permanent resource card for this archetype to use. We then have some like really interesting support cards, because the Kebonk cards are quite generic, and because their abilities make them from other planets, you can just use a lot of like resource and support cards for other planets. So let me just lay these out. We'll get the bodies there, the bodies at the top, the heads there, and then Kabultimate can go at the side. So cards like Semi-Omniplanetary Disguise, a pretty useless card from set 1, but it reads the attached creature becomes a Barrow, Syndian, or Gaios creature. So you just pick and choose the planet that your Kebonk creature isn't from, which is normally going to be Syndian and Gaios because they're all Barrow anyway to start with, and then you know, that could just be the 4th planet that you need to bring out your Kabultimate. Next up, I think this is going to be fantastic. Enchantment Chest, an attachment card that reads the attached creature cannot be killed by creatures from the same planet as it. So, like, in theory, you could have a creature that's from the planet Pelisium, Syndian, Sindel, and Roka. That's like 4 different planets that, like, almost more than half the creatures in the game, your creature is going to be immune to attacks and abilities to. I think Enchantment Chest is just going to be sick for the Kebonks. The next card we have is Helpo Belt. I think this will be necessary in a Kebonk deck because it uses a lot of attachment cards, and Helpo Belt lets you search out your attachments. You just search out the card from the planet you need, and then you can go ahead and like combo it off with an Enchantment Chest or bring out a Kabultimate or something. Then a really interesting one, a card that's causing a lot of problems in the competitive scene. Ozo, the Titan of Justice. Once per turn, you show your opponent 3 of your handed or zoned creatures, 1 Barrow, 1 Gaios, and 1 Syndian, to draw a card or kill a zoned card. Amazingly strong ability, but quite hard to fulfill all the conditions unless you've built your deck specifically around the card. But Kebonks, if you have a Matuton Kebonk, which comes from Barrow and Gaios when it's attached, if you attach that to a Kebonk Silence Body, you've got all the requirements there for an Ozo Titan of Justice ability. So can definitely see this card being like thrown in Kebonk decks just for like no reason whatsoever. And then we have Tornadoom, which is a really strong Roka card where you give one of your zoned 4-star or higher Roka creatures to your opponent's hand and kill your opponent's zoned creatures or resources. If you've got Kebonk Contact Ground, all these guys are going to be 4-star or higher Roka creatures, so you can just use a Tornadoom, give them your opponent, and wipe out their field. I think just some really random techs, and there will definitely be ones here that I haven't spotted in this video that are going to help out the Kebonks. I think they're going to be a really sick and like completely unique archetype that could change the way a lot of people think about the planet Barrow. Next up, we've got some generic Barrow support. We have, following on from set 3, we had the star resource cards. We've got 5-starred Fossil. Simply reads, add 1 Galaxied 5-star Barrow creature to your hand. And I should note that Barrow has the most 5-star creatures from any planet in the game. It can help out with elite decks, again, the Kebonks. Combine Harvester could help out those combiner decks, and Boominator, which is good for OTKs. I think 5-star Fossil's just a really handy card that's going to be used in a lot of fun decks and help give them the consistency that they need to compete. So, although it's very simple, really excited to see what it can do. Also, if you can give me the name of the card that's in the Fossil, it's the skeleton of a 5-star Barrow creature. If you can tell me the name in the comments, that'd be great to see. Next up, we have Tower of Barrock. A lot of people have asked me what this pointy building is. Initially, I had no idea whatsoever, so I've gone and just made it into a card, way more detailed and slightly different colours. I've given myself a bit of creative freedom with this card. But Tower of Barrock, the highest building on the planet Barrow, and it's an activator. It is generic, but it works really well with Barrow. When you cosplay a 5 or lower star creature, you can free play one of your killed creatures that has 1 less star exactly from the same planet, and it loses any abilities it has. So this is just going to work really well for like generic Barrow decks. It obviously works with other planets, but I think it's going to be best for generic Barrow. If you use something like you cosplay a Diamond Lizard or like a Boominator, which are 2 like well-used cards in the planet Barrow, play one of them, you can activate your Tower of Barrock and then bring out a De or a Ground Knight or another really powerful 4-star Barrow creature. Because Barrow is known for having, I guess they have the strongest 4-star and 5-star creatures in the game. The card will probably work well with the planet Shios too, but I think Barrow is really where Tower of Barrock is going to be utilised. Barrock, oh yeah, Barrock is the name of this big city here. Just to fill you in with a bit more lore. Cool. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think of the cards. I thought the Kebonks were really simple until I literally tried to explain them in this video, and I know there's a lot going on, so hopefully they're understandable for you guys. But let me know if anything's unclear in the comments and I'll do my best to clear things up. Let me know what you think of Barrow for set 4. I know there's not too much generic support, it's mainly archetype based, but I think that was what the deck needed rather than just generic Barrow support. But still, some really fun cards, really happy with how Barrow turned out, so let me know what you think about the cards. They're still up for change, so if I do find some like really broken combo, or if you think the cards are way too weak, I can buff them up or make them weaker. So yeah, still quite chilled at this stage, but let me know what you think. Get your hands on some Chaos Galaxy packs. Follow me on Instagram at Chaos Galaxy TCG, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.